How to learn to speak correctly and beautifully. Speaking correctly and beautifully is a valuable skill that enhances communication, builds confidence, and leaves a lasting impression. Whether for professional presentations, social interactions, or personal growth, mastering articulate and eloquent speech requires practice, awareness, and dedication. This essay outlines practical steps to develop clear, confident, and captivating speaking abilities. 1. Understand the fundamentals of clear speech. The foundation of speaking correctly lies in clarity and precision. To achieve this, focus on pronunciation, grammar, and vocabulary. Pronunciation. Pay attention to how words are pronounced. Use resources like dictionaries or language apps to hear correct pronunciations. Practice difficult words or sounds, especially if you're speaking a non-native language. For instance, tongue twisters like "she sells seashells by the seashore" can improve enunciation. Grammar. Proper grammar ensures your message is coherent. Study basic grammar rules and practice constructing sentences. Reading books or listening to well-spoken individuals, such as audiobook narrators or TED Talk speakers, can reinforce correct usage. Vocabulary. A rich vocabulary allows you to express ideas vividly. Learn a new word daily and use it in conversation to internalize it. Avoid overusing complex words, as simplicity often enhances beauty in speech. 2. Develop a pleasant tone and rhythm. Beautiful speech is not just about what you say, but how you say it. Tone, pace, and rhythm play critical roles in engaging listeners. Tone. A warm, confident tone conveys authority and approachability. Practice modulating your voice to avoid monotony. Record yourself speaking and listen for areas to improve, such as sounding too flat or overly aggressive. Pace. Speak at a moderate speed to ensure clarity. Rushing can make you sound nervous, while speaking too slowly may bore listeners. Practice reading aloud to find a natural rhythm. Pauses. Strategic pauses add emphasis and give listeners time to process your words. Practice pausing after key points to enhance impact. 3. Practice active listening. Effective speaking begins with listening. By observing how others speak, you can adopt their strengths and avoid their mistakes. Analyze skilled speakers. Watch speeches by eloquent speakers, such as Michelle Obama or Simon Sinek, and note their tone, word choice, and body language. Platforms like YouTube or podcasts offer ample examples. Engage in conversations. Actively listen to others during discussions. This helps you respond thoughtfully and adapt your speech to different contexts, whether formal or casual. 4. Cultivate confidence through preparation. Confidence is key to beautiful speech. Preparation reduces anxiety and helps you articulate thoughts clearly. Practice regularly. Join groups like Toastmasters to practice public speaking in a supportive environment. Alternatively, rehearse speeches or conversations in front of a mirror or with friends. Prepare content. For important talks, outline your key points and practice delivering them naturally. Avoid memorizing scripts word for word, as this can sound robotic. Manage nervousness. Techniques like deep breathing or visualization can calm nerves. Remind yourself that mistakes are part of the learning process. 5. Embrace feedback and continuous improvement. Feedback is essential for growth. Seek constructive criticism from trusted friends, mentors, or teachers. Record and review. Regularly record your speeches or conversations to identify habits like filler words, like, or unclear phrasing. Work on eliminating these over time. Seek professional help. If needed, consider a speech coach or language tutor for personalized guidance, especially for accent reduction or advanced public speaking. Stay consistent. Set small, achievable goals, such as reducing filler words or improving eye contact, and track your progress over weeks or months. 6. Add artistry to your speech. To speak beautifully, incorporate elements of storytelling and emotional connection. Use vivid language. Metaphors, analogies, and descriptive words make your speech memorable. For example, instead of saying, "I'm happy," try, "I feel like I'm floating on a cloud." Engage emotions. Share personal anecdotes or relatable examples to connect with your audience. A heartfelt story can make your speech more compelling than dry facts. Adapt to your audience. Tailor your language and tone to suit your listeners, whether addressing colleagues, friends, or a large crowd. Conclusion. Learning to speak correctly and beautifully is a journey that combines technical skills with artistic expression. By mastering pronunciation, grammar, and vocabulary, refining your tone and rhythm, practicing active listening, building confidence, seeking feedback, and adding creativity, you can transform your speech into a powerful tool. With consistent effort, anyone can learn to communicate with clarity, grace, and impact, leaving a lasting impression in any setting. The ability to speak correctly and beautifully is a valuable skill that opens many doors in both personal and professional life. While some people may seem to have a natural gift for public speaking or conversation, the truth is that eloquence is a learned art. It requires conscious effort and consistent practice, much like learning to play a musical instrument or master a sport. By focusing on three key areas: clear articulation, a rich vocabulary, and engaging delivery, anyone can improve their speaking skills and captivate their audience with poise and confidence. The foundation of beautiful speech lies in correct and clear articulation. This means pronouncing words accurately, without mumbling or rushing through sentences. A common mistake is to speak too quickly, which can make it difficult for listeners to follow the speaker's thoughts. To overcome this, one should practice speaking at a moderate pace, allowing for pauses that create emphasis and give the audience time to absorb information. Another important aspect of articulation is practicing proper pronunciation. If you are unsure how to say a word, it is wise to look it up in a dictionary or listen to its pronunciation online. Consistent practice, such as reading aloud, can train your mouth and tongue to form sounds more clearly and with greater precision. Expanding one's vocabulary is the second step towards eloquent speech. A rich vocabulary allows a speaker to express complex ideas with nuance and specificity. Instead of relying on simple or overused words, a strong vocabulary provides a wider range of options, making speech more interesting and descriptive. This doesn't mean using overly complicated words to sound impressive. Rather, it means choosing the right word for the right moment. Reading widely, from fiction to nonfiction, is one of the most effective ways to build vocabulary. When you encounter a new word, make an effort to understand its meaning and practice using it in your own conversations. Over time, these new words will become a natural part of your personal lexicon. Finally, beautiful speaking is not just about what you say, but also how you say it. Engaging delivery involves elements such as tone, rhythm, and body language. A speaker's tone of voice can convey a wide range of emotions and attitudes, from enthusiasm to seriousness. Varying your pitch and volume can help to maintain your audience's attention and prevent your voice from sounding monotonous. Moreover, nonverbal cues, such as making eye contact and using natural hand gestures, are essential for connecting with listeners and reinforcing your message. These physical elements make your speech more dynamic and persuasive. When you combine clear articulation and a rich vocabulary with confident, engaging delivery, you can transform your communication from simple words into a truly beautiful and powerful form of expression. The eloquent art, cultivating the power of correct and beautiful speech. In an age saturated with digital communication, the power of the spoken word has not diminished, it has been refined. To speak correctly and beautifully is to wield a key that unlocks doors to professional success, deep personal connection, and profound self-confidence. It is not an innate gift reserved for the chosen few, but a skill, a craft that can be learned, practiced, and mastered. The journey to eloquent speech is a multifaceted one, built upon the twin pillars of internal cultivation and external expression. The first and most crucial step is one of quiet absorption, becoming an avid listener and an insatiable reader. Beautiful speech cannot emerge from an empty well. We must fill the reservoir of our minds with the very elements we wish to produce. This begins with reading widely and deeply. Immerse yourself in literature, poetry, well-crafted nonfiction, and journalism. Pay attention not just to the story, but to the architecture of the sentences, the rhythm, the cadence, the precise choice of vocabulary. As you read, you internalize grammatical structures and sophisticated patterns of thought, building a mental library of phrases and ideas from which to draw. Simultaneously, one must become a conscious listener. Seek out exemplary speakers, be it through podcasts like The Ezra Klein Show or 99% Invisible, TED Talks, audiobooks narrated by masters like Stephen Fry, or even historical speeches by figures like Martin Luther King Jr. or Winston Churchill. Analyze their techniques. Notice their pacing, their use of pause for dramatic effect, their clear enunciation, and the modulation of their tone to convey emotion and emphasis. This active listening trains the ear and provides a model to emulate. With a mind nourished by great language, the next phase is one of active practice and technical refinement. Correctness is the foundation upon which beauty is built. This involves a commitment to clarity and precision. Diligently work on expanding your vocabulary, not to use obscure words ostentatiously, but to possess the exact word needed to express a nuanced thought. Keep a dictionary and thesaurus close at hand, and make a habit of looking up unfamiliar words. However, always prioritize clarity over complexity. The most beautiful speech is often the simplest and most direct. Technical practice also involves the physical mechanics of speech. Practice articulation by reading aloud. Tongue twisters are not child's play. They are excellent tools for strengthening the muscles used in speech and improving diction. Record yourself speaking on a familiar topic and play it back. Be your own critic. Do you mumble? Do you speak too quickly, swallowing your words? Do you litter your sentences with filler words like like, and you know? Self-awareness is the first step to correction. Practice slowing down, breathing deeply to support your voice, and articulating each word with purpose. Finally, the bridge between private practice and public mastery is built through engagement and empathy. True eloquence is not a performance, it is a connection. This means shifting the focus from yourself to your audience and your message. Understand the context of the conversation. A beautiful speech is tailored to its listeners, their knowledge, and their interests. It requires the empathy to see the world from their perspective and to frame your ideas in a way that resonates with them. Embrace every opportunity to speak, whether in a meeting, a social gathering, or a formal presentation. Start small, perhaps by offering a clear opinion in a discussion or giving a toast at a dinner. Each time you speak, focus on being clear, concise, and compelling. Welcome constructive feedback from trusted peers. Remember that hesitation and mistakes are part of the process. What matters is the continuous commitment to improvement. In conclusion, learning to speak correctly and beautifully is a rewarding pursuit that enriches every facet of life. It is a symphony conducted with 3 batons: the input of reading and listening, the practice of vocabulary and diction, and the output of empathetic engagement. It is a journey of transforming the chaos of thought into the clarity of spoken word. By dedicating ourselves to this art, we do not merely learn to communicate, we learn to move, to persuade, to inspire, and to connect on the most profoundly human level. How to learn to speak correctly and beautifully. The art of eloquent speech is not merely a gift bestowed upon the fortunate few, but a skill that can be cultivated through dedication, practice, and understanding of fundamental principles. Whether you seek to enhance your professional communication, enrich your personal relationships, or simply express yourself with greater clarity and grace, the journey towards speaking correctly and beautifully begins with recognizing that language is both a tool and an art form. Foundation: building your vocabulary. The cornerstone of beautiful speech lies in possessing a rich and varied vocabulary. Words are the painter's colors, and the broader your palette, the more nuanced your expression becomes. Begin by reading extensively across diverse genres: literature, journalism, academic texts, and poetry. Each source will introduce you to different registers of language and expose you to words in their natural context. Keep a vocabulary journal, noting new words along with their definitions and example sentences. However, remember that the goal is not merely to accumulate impressive words, but to understand their subtle meanings and appropriate usage. Precision in grammar and syntax. Correct speech requires a solid understanding of grammatical principles. While perfect grammar alone does not guarantee beautiful speech, it provides the necessary framework upon which eloquence is built. Study the rules of your language systematically, paying particular attention to common errors such as subject-verb agreement, proper pronoun usage, and sentence structure. Practice constructing sentences of varying lengths and complexity, learning to balance simple, direct statements with more sophisticated constructions when appropriate. The power of clarity. Beautiful speech is, above all, clear speech. Before you can captivate others with your words, you must ensure they understand your message. Organize your thoughts before speaking, establishing a logical flow from one idea to the next. Use concrete examples to illustrate abstract concepts, and avoid unnecessarily complex language when simpler words will suffice. Remember that clarity does not mean simplicity. It means choosing the most precise words to convey your exact meaning. Developing your voice and delivery. The physical aspects of speech are equally important as the intellectual ones. Work on your breathing, speaking from your diaphragm rather than your throat to achieve a fuller, more resonant voice. Practice proper articulation, ensuring that each word is clearly pronounced. Vary your pace, using pauses strategically to emphasize important points and give your audience time to absorb complex ideas. Pay attention to your tone and inflection, as these elements can completely change the meaning and impact of your words. The art of listening. Paradoxically, learning to speak well requires learning to listen carefully. Observe skilled speakers in various contexts, from formal presentations to casual conversations. Notice how they structure their thoughts, their choice of words, their pacing, and their ability to adapt their style to their audience. Listening actively to others also helps you understand the rhythm and flow of natural conversation, teaching you when to speak and when to remain silent. Practice through engagement. Theory without practice remains merely academic knowledge. Seek opportunities to speak in various settings. Join discussion groups. Participate in public speaking organizations like Toastmasters, engage in debates, or simply make a conscious effort to contribute more thoughtfully to everyday conversations. Each speaking opportunity provides valuable feedback and helps you refine your skills. Embracing your authentic voice. While learning from others is essential, the ultimate goal is not to imitate, but to develop your own distinctive speaking style. Beautiful speech is authentic speech. It reflects your personality, experiences, and unique perspective on the world. Don't try to adopt an artificial persona or use vocabulary that feels unnatural to you. Instead, work to express your genuine thoughts and feelings with increasing precision and grace. Continuous refinement. The journey towards speaking correctly and beautifully is ongoing. Language evolves, contexts change, and there is always room for improvement. Remain curious about words and their origins. Continue reading challenging material, and don't be afraid to experiment with new forms of expression. Accept that mastery comes not from perfection, but from the continuous pursuit of clearer, more effective, and more beautiful communication. The ability to speak correctly and beautifully is ultimately about respect. Respect for language, for your audience, and for the ideas you wish to convey. When you approach speech with this reverence, combined with dedicated practice and genuine engagement with the world around you, you will find that words become not just tools for communication, but instruments for creating understanding, inspiring action, and touching the hearts and minds of others.